I also believe in this one thing that what is mine will come to me. So ये मेरे से आधा pressure तो निकाल दो.
I think it's about self-belief. It's getting joy of out of what you do.
अगर makers, if they are those kind of makers who are looking at the Insta numbers and everything, I think I also don't want to work with them.
ऐसा क्या influencer है तो काम नहीं मिलना चाहिए उसको, ठीक है, क्यों नहीं मिलेगा?
But actor भी तो होना चाहिए ना?
वो ठीक है यार, बाद में पता चल जाता है ना कि actor है कि नहीं है.
As an actor, I see as a person, she's so humbled, so generous. You know, she's always there. I mean, you don't feel hesitant to talk to her.
Detached होके आपको लगता है फोन का खौफ है? तो आपको नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है?
No, because I really don't know. How do I know what is happening, whether influencers are getting more work or not?
Young women who come to Delhi or any other city for that matter enter the gig economy. We don't know how the world treats them.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're escaping from.
So as an actor, to be a part of that kind of a story, which says a lot, is like a great thing.
Hello everyone, this is Hesha Cheema and you're tuned into Varinder Chawla's page. Today I'm in conversation with the people who are very soon going to be bringing to us Cough, a series that I'm excited to watch as well, and I'm sure so would you all be as well. Thank you so much for removing time and interacting. I'm going to start off this conversation with talking to you, Smita, first, and correct me if I'm wrong. मुझे लगता है क्योंकि मैं थोड़ा बहुत लिखती हूँ, of course आपके level पे तो नहीं लिखती, but as for me, writing is a very lonely process. So when I'm writing something, probably I'm very poetic and philosophical, but you're putting out there thriller and fear and so much. When now you look at this series from what you wrote first, do you feel the visual imagery is matching?
You know, when you write, you close all the doors and windows, no? You close everything when you write. There's a point at which they have to be opened and you have to get out of your loop of doubt and all of that. But then suddenly when you are a creator, there is more authorship, of course. And when you are a creator, those doors and windows are not just open, they are blasted open, you know. And you're standing there with clutching your papers, and that then begins a painful process of explaining what you have written in solitude to everybody,
right.
You know, to everybody. But in this, my partner was Pankaj, you know, to have Pankaj come in, who is one of the greatest things about him is not only he's a lethal combination, you know, as a director and as a cinematographer, he's someone who's a voracious reader. And there's a certain kind of reading that he does, at least even in Raat Ke Liye with my previous film, he was a cinematographer, and the way he read that, the cues that he takes out of the script, when I spoke to him, I knew I found a collaborator. So the visual part, you know, I've been seeing his work from FTI, both of us, he's a senior from FTI. You see his work and you see what he can do, not just with the camera, but with his understanding. He wrote the story of Tumbar also, you know, he's part of it. And what he can do, or Ship of Thesis, I think, it was Ship of Thesis that he wrote. So he's also a good storyteller, he's he's excellent at visuals. And then together we kind of built this world so there was no, from the paper, which was just a blueprint, to what it became, it's something that I can say with full confidence is more than what I had ever expected.
Right. But if I have to ask the both of you respectively, Rajat, so I'm going to start this off with you. When you probably, let's say, heard the narration or read the script yourself, did your character, was it easy for you to visualize it? Because what I've seen from the trailer itself, I've not had the chance to watch the series, though it does look very different, very like, I don't know, like it's something that I don't know if I can relate to on an everyday basis. Right. And then you have to sort of go ahead and depict that on celluloid. How do you do that?
The excitement for me was that I had not played anything like this before. You don't get an opportunity for such a character to come your way very often. So I jumped at it. But you know, to add to also what Smita is saying, when I read it, I was bowled over. It's really well written. But very often what happens or can happen is that what sounds interesting on paper is very dull eventually.
Yeah.
And it has not been visualized well enough or executed well enough. Not in this case. It was already well written, and then with every further enhancement, it got better, which goes from the casting to the locations, production design, camera work, and after that edit. So you know, there's a good chance of losing the original germ or the original excitement, and then for a long process like this, it's very possible that you lose it on the way, because it's such a long way to go. But no, not luckily not this time. It has just gotten better with every stage, I think.
You know, I want to ask you this as well, since we're chatting at the moment. After having such a massive body of work, right, and working in the industry for so many years, what can still be the most exciting thing? Like, probably after 13 years, I'm getting complacent on and off. How do you sort of remove that complacency from, you know, being here and doing what you're doing? Does that seek in, or it's okay?
No, I think, see, as a filmmaker, as a writer, it never gets easier. So I don't think because you've written for 20 years, your next script will become easier. That's not true. Because each new script brings with it its own set of problems, which you have to solve all over again. You have to learn all over again in a way. So yeah, that never gets easier, so never gets boring. And being on a film set is a huge excitement for me. You know, even if it's a 2-minute film, whatever it is, whatever kind of shoot it is. I love the chaos, I love the people, and how passionate everybody is on a film shoot, you know. Even if they have the smallest job, everybody feels that they're
A part of
part of making this, you know.
Yeah.
And that's wonderful to share.
Monica, I'm going to come back to you with the same question that I had. How did you sort of visualize yourself in this world of Khauf?
So I think when the script is so well written, it becomes very easy for you to just place yourself, and then at the same time it's just not about you. It's about the story, and it's about all other characters which are there, and not just on like a very superficial or superfluous way, but they are also like telling something very deep, and how they coexist together, and how they are at the same time pointing towards one thing and saying like a one thing.
Right.
So I think that intrigues me a lot, because when everything you weave, you know, kinds of comes to that same conclusion, and it produces that kind of effect. So I think that's why I was very happy, because of course your character is going through that kind of a journey, but it's not just about you, it's everyone's character, and everyone has something to say, have their own voice, have their own conflicts, and have their own way of solving those conflicts. So as an actor, to be a part of that kind of a story, which says a lot, is like a great thing.
I want to ask actually Smita about this. When I'm seeing the trailer itself, I am probably maybe not able to pinpoint at one aspect of it. Like, I'm somebody who would totally stay away from horror by choice. I'm very scared of horror, but I absolutely enjoy thriller.
We would love to watch it with you. And so watch you while you watch it.
Oh my God, I will be the horror and the terror at that given point in time. But I do enjoy psychological thrillers as well, and I do feel there are elements where your character is actually having a session, right? Where are you seeing this? What if I had to tell you, put into a genre, how would you sort of put that into?
It's a blend of psychological suspense drama and horror, because a lot of it is grounded, a lot of it is coming from a very specific social concern. So you have young women who come to Delhi, or any other city for that matter, who come in these urban centers. They are coming from a lot of spaces. They are leaving behind a lot of social comfort. They don't have a social system when they come over here. They enter the gig economy. We don't know how the world treats them.
Yeah.
We don't know what they're escaping from. We don't know what makes them run back into that hellhole. So I lived in working women's hostels when I started my professional journey, and I saw a lot of these events. I saw a lot of the stories, and I wanted to use the lens of horror to tell this. And when I started to
but
write,
was that via your personal experiences as well that you probably encountered in real life?
I stayed in a working women's hostel, you know, I lived over there, and the city, there is a lot of hostility, isolation, alienation that women go through, if not outright violence. And every violation, it doesn't stop at the gates of a hostel. It doesn't stop there. What it does and how deeply it imprints itself into the psyche of a young woman, how it lives with her, what is it that makes her come undone? Is she going to survive? How far that resilience is going to go? You know, that is one part of it. The other part of it is, which is something that Rajat represents for me in the story, is you have a counter to that. You have someone who's still trying to hold on to power, who's still trying to hold on to life, who's still trying to hold on to this ancient grip over, let's call it women, but you know, ancient grip over what he thinks he's entitled to. And both of these things have to exist in the same universe. A girl who's searching for an identity, a man who's refusing to let go of one. And it's this collision of trying to discover who they are. These things bleed into each other, and that's what kind of, makes it more real and more cosmic at the same time.
Okay. As actors, tell me, help me understand this. There is a pool of content out there, and we're actually talking right now in an era which is surpassing even languages. Like, I'm somebody who would probably even consume a Turkish show and thoroughly enjoy it, not be like, oh nahi, mujhe yahi dekhna hai, wahi dekhna hai. Today, where there is so much content to consume, but there's also lesser attention span, right? How do you see yourselves individually also then standing out, making an impact, and then going ahead? Do you all take that pressure?
There's no long-term or big picture strategy. I think for me, as an actor, it's like moment to moment. It's in a year you do 1 or 2 projects, and you choose from whatever is offered to you. It's you try and make the best choices. So this is no larger strategy than that. Sometimes, like Monica was saying, sometimes you do it because you're getting paid for it. Sometimes you get lucky and you get a good role.
But Rajat sir, I have to say this, you've also played roles where probably it's very character driven. It might not be length driven, but it's definitely character driven, right? But we're seeing that change where people, just because I was talking numbers, I'd say that influencers are getting casted in those particular roles. Does that lessen the avenues for precisely actors just like yourself who've put that benchmark and had impact earlier even on those roles?
I don't know. Maybe it does. I don't know this.
You're detached क्योंकि आपको लगता है फोन का खौफ है तो आपको नहीं पता क्या हो रहा है
No, because I really don't know. How do I know what is happening, whether influencers are getting more work or no? If they are, it's good for them. It's new doors are opening. As long as once in a while I get a role, I'm okay. They should also, everybody should get work here. ऐसा क्या इन्फ्लुएंसर है तो काम नहीं मिलना चाहिए उसको, ठीक है, क्यों नहीं मिलेगा?
बट एक्टर भी तो होना चाहिए ना।
वो ठीक है यार, बाद में पता चल जाता है ना कि एक्टर है कि नहीं है। एक फिल्म को मिल जाएगा, दूसरा मिल जाएगा, फिर अगर अच्छा नहीं हुआ तो नहीं मिलेगा, अच्छा हुआ तो और काम मिलेगा।
ओके, तो अगर मुझे आपसे पूछना है, टू बी इन अ फील्ड लाइक योर्स जहाँ पे इतना कंपटीशन होता है, एक सेंस ऑफ सिक्योरिटी कहाँ से लाई जाती है फिर?
I think it's about self-belief. It's getting joy of out of what you do. I think that is security enough. If you enjoy what you're doing, that should be enough. Everything else is a bonus after that.
Okay. What would be your driving factor to be here, to thrive, to survive? Because I'm like in a city like Bombay where I know there is so much to take care of, rent, khana, ye, wo, etc., etc. And then you are in a field which is equally as competitive, and every day there is somebody who can get replaced, right? Because I feel even my job, आज यहाँ हूँ, कल कोई और बैठा होगा ये इंटरव्यू करने के लिए।
आप तो बड़ी-बड़ी नौकरियाँ छोड़ के क्यों यहाँ आई? आपको बता चुकी हैं।
अरे नहीं, but ये नया है ना, ये ट्रेंड है, हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं, हम देख रहे हैं कैसा चल रहा है। So I want to understand you for an actor, what is it?
See यार, I really believe in that. I mean, इन चीज़ों का मुझे कभी प्रेशर नहीं हुआ कि I'll get replaced or this or that. और जो आपने I think इन सर से भी पूछा about the influencer thing and everything, because I think अगर makers, if they are those kind of makers who are looking at the Insta numbers and everything, I think I also don't want to work with them. And if they are like the people who are really looking for something more profound, like really some kind of skills or something, so I think it makes sense to me then. Otherwise, I'm also not interested to do that kind of a part. And at the same time, और दूसरा क्या था, like
सिक्योर कैसे रहते हैं, कैसे मैनेज करते हैं फिर ये? क्योंकि अगर आप you're okay to say no, which also means you're letting go of a lot of things, then how do you manage and dabble?
I think I also believe in this one thing, that what is mine will come to me. So ये मेरे से आधा प्रेशर तो निकाल देता है, because I firmly believe, because जब मुझे ये प्रोजेक्ट भी मिला था, it was purely on the basis of the screen test. Nothing was there. मतलब I think आपने जमतारा वगैरह भी कुछ उससे पहले ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं देखा था.
मुझे पता ही नहीं था तुम हो.
हाँ, कि there is something called Monica. It was purely on the basis of someone unknown, and they are seeing my face for the first time. So I'm someone who is completely relying on that मतलब screen test से लेके till the time you will do all dubbing and everything, you just be true to yourself.
No, also I think for actors, it's like you said, it's very important for actors and everybody else actually to be able to say no. You know, because it is really your choices which make you
Yeah.
eventually, you know.
Yeah.
And you'll be remembered for what you've
That
done.
is the hardest part to do actually.
Yeah.
To just say
saying
no.
To just say no. True. You know, lastly, before I wrap this up, I have to ask you this question. You worked with somebody who I absolutely love and adore, which is Neena Gupta ji as well. I mean, she's one woman I thoroughly look up to. You've had the chance to work with her in a larger capacity. Give me a takeaway that you took from her and you understood that this is great acting skill, probably professionally, that you imbibed in yourself.
I think first of all she's so whenever I see someone, I more as an actor I see as a person. She's so humbled, so generous. You know, she's always there. I mean, you don't feel hesitant to talk to her as such. Ki something will happen or not to say that I shouldn't say something like this. I shouldn't do something like this in front of her. So you feel very secure as an actor in front of her. So I think जब आप किसी के सामने if you can be yourself, that is the best thing, where you don't have to pretend. And because I think it's not about you, it's their power कि जिनके सामने आप खड़े हो, you need not to pretend. So it is her power कि you will come in your truest and the honest form.
Did that happen with Rajat sir as well?
Of
Because
course,
right
yeah.
now he's
I
brought out
think-
my truest self also in this conversation.
know.
I'm like, phone hatao, mujhe jo
Chima,
puchna
your
hai-
chima has come out.
Yeah, my chima has come out. But I'm sure it must have happened here as well.
Of course, you do. You feel like, arey, we are the chaddi buddies friends.
Yeah,
We can
he
do
doesn't
it."
make me feel like we're doing this for the first time ever. But thank you so much, guys, for your time. This was it for me.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to the show and all the very best to all of you all for a long day ahead as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Pleasure
Super, super.
speaking.